Well, it's action coming your way on the bank track from Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in the city of San Francisco between the Bombers and the Chiefs. And this is Walt Harris along with Jerry Seltzer to describe the action. As we pick up that action, we're in the first period of play with the score, the Bombers 2 and the Chiefs 4. And we have 6 minutes and 8 seconds to go here in the first period of play. The Chiefs are in the gold and the green, the Bombers in the deep brown and the orange trim. Here we go. Claudia Hodby breaking fast with the Chiefs, number 49, being followed in there by number 39 of the Bombers, up to Gandy. Gandy grabs the lead. At the rear of the pack, Tucker is blasting away at Carolyn Moreland. And Moreland is down. Tucker is warned by the official to keep on moving. Looked like she wanted to go back and inflict more damage. Moreland is up and moving again. The lead jammer is Gandy, 39 there on the outside. Hodby to the inside has the lead now for the Chiefs. She's blocked out by Tucker. Moreland cutting around there, puts a block on Gandy, number 39 of the Bombers. Another block in there by Carolyn Moreland. Tucker, there she is farther back, blocking on Claudia Hodby. See her head go back. There is Gandy going into the rail, hit by Carolyn Moreland. Moreland with another block in there. And Tucker again with a block. Both Tucker and Moreland doing a good job for their team. They're both slim girls, but showing how hard they hit because they are such great skaters out there. Gandy moving in. Moreland hooks her with the block. Rides her up near the rail. Here comes Tucker. Try and help out, but it's too late. Sandy Dunn went back and clobbered Gandy. So Sandy Dunn put her on the deck, killing any possible threat to score. No score on that jam. So remains the Chiefs 4 and the Bombers 2. Jerry, looks like we're going to have a good one here in this game.
The Chiefs have come out swinging, and I'm sure they're going to have to settle down. They're very hyped up for this. We're getting near the end of the season in the Bay Area. Pretty soon they're going to be opening their own season back in the East and against this very same Bomber team. And, of course, the big thing with the Chiefs, they have added Bob Woodbury to their lineup. And if there's anything they've been slightly weak on, it's in the men's field because Bill Grohl being hurt or anything happening to him, the Chiefs just don't have the size. And certainly Bob Woodbury is going to give them the size and the experience.
He is, of course, not in this game, but he has been signed. He will join the team. He'll be back there when the Chiefs open their home stand this fall. Be a strong addition to the Chief Club. Right now, we have 4 skaters out on the jam. Carol Peanuts-Meyer, 37, blocked out by Judy McGuire, 45, the flashing blonde. Carol back on the inside. Carol returning after being out every week. Bad heel, hammering away at McGuire. McGuire is down. Away goes Carol Peanuts-Meyer. At the rear of the pack is Sandy Dunn the blocker. Tucker is back there to help. And up comes skater on Tucker. That's Debbie Thompson. Tucker will have to worry about her while Sandy Dunn's doing the job. Now Tucker eliminates Debbie Thompson, puts it down. Now she's moving up to take a shot at Sandy Dunn, who's blocking out on Carol. Down low, takes her out of there. Carol goes for 1. There's team blocking now. She goes for 2. That was blocking by Rosetta Saunders. The time had run out. She only got the 1. Time had elapsed before she went by Carolyn Moreland, who was being blocked out by Saunders, who's grabbed by Moreland and belted by Sandy Dunn. Oh, man, these two clubs get together. You've got fireworks. It's 4th of July every night. Score now 4-3 off that point picked up. And over at this end, McGuire decks Carol Peanuts-Meyer. The Bombers are on the deck all around the track. Watch for that explosion in the East. And the Chiefs open their fall season against the Bombers. Seems to bring out the best in both clubs, or some people might say the worst, the way they hit out there, Jerry.
Well, you know, some of those games we saw at Madison Square Garden between the Bombers and the Chiefs, it's certainly the heights of skating, and but the bitterness between these two teams and a lot of resentment in the fact that Charlie O'Connell, formerly the coach of the Chiefs, now back with the Bombers, just a natural rivalry.
Here we go again, out on the jam and moving. Number 42 for the Chiefs. That is Maureen Gallagher. Out to challenge her. Linda Antonio. Rear of the pack. Moreland slammed hard into the rail. She has to catch the pack again now. Boy, these girls are battling out here. And this is just the first period of play. A lot of action yet to come. We have 2:04 to go in this period. There's Moreland back to the block, 43. Takes a shot, puts a block on Antonio. Now Gallagher being hit by Dolores Tucker, 34, and down goes Gallagher. Scrambles up again. He's hit by Antonio. She got up and down she went again. That's a real vital or looked out vulnerable position when you've been knocked down just as you get up. If the skater comes on you at the right time, you're a sitting duck. Gallagher put on the rail by Tucker. Time has run out. There was 1 point in there by the Bombers, though, on the play to tie up the score at 4 points apiece. And down at the other end, we got a run going. Look out. Moreland in there, getting in the licks in. Carol Penis-Meyer there. Here's Sandy Dunn now, moving in. Specials trying to keep it from getting out of hand.
Well, in a moment, we want to tell the fans how they can get a free copy of the rules, all of which seem to be violated out there right now. These teams have come out of there right from the start, and it's hard to believe there's 7 periods to go in this game. If you would like to get a free copy of the rules or put your name on the mailing list and receive special advance information on upcoming games in your areas, write to Rules or Mailing List, Post Office Box 1828, Oakland, California, 94604. Be sure to include the city and station on which you watch these games. And we got 2 of the fastest ones out in this jam. Carol Penis-Meyer, and there goes Judy McGuire.
Winning that battle, Carol Penis-Meyer. McGuire is on the deck, and Carol Meyer moving by herself on the jam for the Bombers. Score 4-4, 20 seconds left in this period. Peanuts coming up, and Judy is back to the block. Judy McGuire, who can do it all, number 45. Carol throws her aside, slips by for the point. Moves again. Carol returning to top form for the Bombers. There is Sandy Dunn. Look out. Look out. Judy is having a bad time on this jam. Another point for Carol. Up on Sandy Dunn's back, got off as McGuire took a swing at her. McGuire hit Sandy Dunn, and Dunn went down. And little Carol Penis-Meyer doing a fine job for the Bombers on that play, picked up another point. So, the score here at the end of the first period of play is the Bay Area Bombers 6 and the Chiefs 4. Action continues on the bank track as we move into the second period of play. This is Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer calling the action on the Chiefs Network. Winner on the track, flipped out of there. Tony Roman, 37, driving the lead as he goes sailing by, number 47. That is John Early moving. John Early and Tony Roman in the jam. Early with the block in there. Roman is down, and Early moves away. Rear of the pack. Big Pete Boyd, the moving wall, number 36, 230-pounder to block for the Bombers. Bill Grohl dropping back there, but Early catches a couple elbows, slammed into the rail. Tony Roman grabs the lead in the jam, moving on Bill Grohl now. Bill Grohl there with the block. Grohl up, ends Roman, and Grohl is hit by Boyd, but to no avail. And now Grohl working in their team blocking. John Early in there for one on his face, but Roman goes by Grohl for a point. And it's a point each way as the time runs out. Bill Grohl with a good block in there, but in doing so, he went on his face, and Roman went by him for a point. He didn't go on his face, but Early did, and Early couldn't cut off the jam. You can't cut off the jam when you're on the track. You must be on your skates when you make the motion with the hands and the hips. So Tony Roman slipped by Bill Grohl and picked up a point. So it's a point apiece in the score now. The Bombers 7 and the Chiefs 5. 10:30 to go here in the second period of play. Here we go. Jammer's trying to move out of that pack. We got one moving out of the play, and it's the Bombers. Number 33. I don't even have him on the roster. It looks like Alvin Mallory to me. Mallory seems to alternate between numbers 33 and 31. That is Mallory. There's Mallory with the block on Mike Gammon, number 45. Dynamite Mike Gammon on the play. They're coming up in the back, and Gammon grabs the lead now. Sam Tiapula back there blocking on Alvin Mallory, the Bombers. Pete Boyd slowing down Mike Gammon, number 45 of the Chiefs. Pete Boyd with the block in there. Boyd hooks Gammon, takes him near the rail. Gammon puts a block on Mallory, puts another block on Mallory, and grabs a big lead. Moving behind Tiapula's blocking on Pete Boyd. Now there's Gammon. He's going to get one. He gets more. That was fantastic skating by Mike Gammon as he moved by on the inside for those points in there. 4 points for Mike Gammon and the Chiefs on the play. Great move by Mike, Jerry.
Oh, and here's a great move by Pete Boyd.
Roscoe, Pete Boyd to have somebody in the middle there. Larry Lee's in there for the Chiefs trying to help out. Bill Grohl, who they got in the middle. Sam Tiapula of the Chiefs. Boyd still has him, or he has Boyd. He's one in the midsection. Officials trying to get these men apart, and that's tough. Tiapula not as large, but mighty powerful in there. I don't know what started it, but they're going across, and they can't get them apart. They're hanging and hitting. Morrissey in the middle there. Boyden skates down he goes, and he gets it from Sam Tiapula. Boy, I don't know what started that, Jerry, but those men were out for blood.
I think it's just this series. It's the Chiefs and the Bombers, and anytime these teams get together, that's what happens. Sam Tiapula is very quiet off the track. He hardly says a word. His real name is Lauga Tiapula. That's spelled L-U-U-G-A. Tiapula. He's from American Samoa, and he's been a fantastic addition to the Chief team. As we say, he doesn't say very much, but on that track, he's very difficult to get by and very good fighter.
And remember, when the Chiefs open in the East against the St. Bomber Club, Mr. Bob Woodbury will be in the Chief lineup. That's all poison for the other clubs. On the jam, Bob Dansell moving, and out with him is Joe Perez. Perez hammers a block into Dansell, gets him again. He's got him going, but Dansell stays up. Penalty box, Pete Boyd, Sam Tiapula. One man from each team. Dansell with a block on Perez now. Another block in there, Joe Perez. He uses the rail to stay up, jumping Joe Perez. Moves to the inside. He throws everything he had into that block, and Dansell got away from him. Tony Roman blocking now. Tony Roman with the jammer's helmet on, is not in scoring position. John Early, I don't know whether Dansell went around him and he was hooked and thrown down or not. Jam cut off in there by Perez. Early gets it from Dansell, and Perez comes back to help out. Dansell got away from him earlier. I think it was Roman gave it to Early. Perez gets it from Roman now. Oh boy, look out. Orozco's aiming at somebody over there, but Tiapula skates away. Amen. Score goes to 10 for the Chiefs and 8 for the Bombers on that play. Point apiece. Tell you, Jerry, this is the kind of game you need 4 sets of eyes because it's happening all over the track all the time.
You know, it's something we always say. And here you've got perhaps the best crew in the country covering this game. And yet in roller derby, so much happens all at once. It's all over the track, and that's why the fans love to get out and see it.
Chris Rowe tried to move out, and Sam Tiapula roughed him right back into that back. Larry Lee moves out, number 44 for the Chiefs. And chasing him now is Alvin Mallory, 33 for the Bombers. Mallory moving after Larry Lee of the Chiefs. Larry Lee is hooked and goes down, put there by Alvin Mallory. 6:22 to go here in the second period of play. And the score, 10-8, Chiefs on top. Mike Gammon at the rear of the pack to block for Larry Lee. Mike Gammon has his jammers on. He moves into the pack now. Leaves it up to Bill Grohl, 49. Alvin Mallory has caught Larry Lee again. No, Larry Lee's back there blocking. I'm sorry, he was put down earlier, and he's just back in the pack. Larry Lee is blocking now, and Mallory, the only man in scoring position, 33. Coming up fast is Mike Gammon on the jam, though. Mallory takes a shot at him, puts him down. Mallory moving again. Larry Lee hits and puts him down. Gammon moving again. Mallory takes a shot at Gammon, puts him down. He moves up. He gets by Larry Lee for a point and cuts it off. Alvin Mallory gets it now from Larry Lee. Hammered. Hammered again. I tell you, nobody out there wants to be embarrassed, Jerry, on either club. And if they're passed, like Larry Lee was there, he wants revenge.
So these are the two class teams in the league. Right now, they look a little bit more like they're right down on the waterfront, slugging it out. Generally, when these two teams get together, there's a lot of good skating. You've got Mike Gammon and Larry Lee and Perez. A lot of good jammers, of course, on the Bombers. Tony Roman and Bob Dansell. And you'd expect the speed to go here. And all they're doing is just hitting each other as hard as they can.
10-9 is the score. The Chiefs on top. Moving out, Tony Roman. Boy, flying out of that back. Chasing him now, John Early. Tiapula was just decked in there by Charlie O'Connell. Jim Cook also in the back for the Bombers. Down goes John Early, put there by Tony Roman. Early rejoins the rear of the pack. He'll possibly have to block back there when Roman gets up there, and that won't hurt John Early's feelings. He'd like another shot at Tony Roman. Tony Roman, 37, looking for skating room. John Early won't give him any room. Jim Cook gets a shot at John Early, but Early recovers. Another shot by Cook, but Early gets away again and slows down Roman. Here comes a jammer, Joe Perez. We've got Perez and Early back there now. Perez the jammer, Early blocking for him. Here comes Roman again. Slides off of Joe Perez. Down in the heat go the Chief skaters, and it's a Bomber point. So that makes the score here after the jam as the Bombers pick up another point, all tied up at 10 points apiece.
If you would like to have a game scheduled in your area for some good charitable purpose, that's non-political or non-profit, you have a gym at a high school or college or an arena that seats more than 2,500 people, write to bookings, Post Office 18, Box 1827, Oakland, California 94604. You'll get the Chiefs, the Pioneers, the Bombers, and another fine team in your community and raise money either for your school or your local charity. In Walt, Springfield, Illinois has a new park because of money raised at roller derby games, and we're very proud of that, is the Sertoma Club at Springfield.
Well, that's one of the reasons I'm proud to be associated with this game, because of the great work they've done around the country and many, many benefits prospered from roller derby game. O'Connell, a blocker, is out to slow down Larry Lee. Bill Grove comes out. O'Connell, remember, can't cut off this jammer. He can't score. He's waiting for a jammer to come out. Now Larry's trying to gut to Bill Grove, hooked into an O'Connell block. O'Connell blocker. Plays a left hook into Bill Grove. I think he got away with it. He did. He continues, he won't get away with it. I think Bill Morris is calling a penalty on Charlie O'Connell, and Bill Grove is on the deck. He gets up as Mallory moves on him. And he slams Mallory into the rail. Here's Larry Lee in scoring position now. O'Connell threw a left hook in there once and got away with it. He was caught with some illegal blocking later on Bill Grove. And that's it. No score on the jam, but O'Connell's in the penalty box. And he's limping. No, I guess he's all right. 10-10 the score remains. There's Charlie O.
Very uncharacteristic play for Charlie, that he would just turn around and apparently, at least we didn't see anything, for no reason, start slugging it out with Bill Grohl. I just don't know. You know, of course, Bill succeeded him as coach of the Chiefs after Buddy Atkinson Sr. left, and I'm afraid we're in for quite a game.
Here we go. Bob Dansell out, and with a block right off the bat on Jumpin' Joe Perez. Perez regains his speed, though, is chasing Bob Dansell of the Bombers. Hammers him now. Hits him again. Dansell stays up, moves back inside. Amazing talent of these skaters. The way they can be hit and stay on their skates. Dansell to the outside, then to the inside. Perez stays up, though. He moves in there on Dansell as they're moving on the pack. Tiapola back there to block. Tony Roman with a block on Joe Perez. Tiapola 42, slowing down Bob Dansell 34 of the Bombers. Tony Roman doing the job. Remember, Roman has a jammer someone on, but he's not out on this jam. He's not in scoring position. Dansell is decked. Tiapola hits Roman. Here comes Perez for the point as Roman goes up and bounces like a ball off the track. Pete Boyd in there blocking now. Roman in there trying to get another shot at Perez, who finally cuts off the jam, settles for the 1 point that breaks up the tie. That makes the score now the Chiefs 11 and the Bombers 10.
On the scoreboard, they appear to have taken 10 points away from the Bombers. They have it 11-1, but I really think you're right, Walt. All kinds of problems. We're in the last 49 seconds of this period. We want to remind everyone they're going to see the second half later on the same station, and our special halftime guest, Bill Grohl, coach of the Chiefs, will be talking to Walt Harris.
And remember, all you folks in the Chief Network, your Chiefs are going to open against the Bombers back there this season. And on this jam, Mike Gammon with him, Chris Rowe, 32 the Bombers, 25 seconds left in the period. Bill Grohl slammed into the rail by O'Connell, is back in the game out of the penalty box. He's got something going for him here against Bill Grohl, that's for sure. Bill Grohl back to the block, 15 seconds. He put in block on Chris Rowe. Pete Boyd to the block on Mike Gammon, 45 of the Chiefs. Pete Boyd, 36 of the Bombers. The moving wall. Bill Grohl, hard block on Rowe, slams into the rail, takes a shot at Boyd. He gets him, and Gammon goes by for the point. 2 seconds, 1. And that's the end of that quarter, and a point was picked up in there, and Pete Boyd ends up on the deck. So the score here at the end of the second period of play between the Chiefs and the Bombers is the Bombers 10 and the Chiefs 12. Action continues here on the track in the third period of play. This action coming away from Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in the city of San Francisco. Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer calling the action on the Chief Network. Girls are on the track. First skater out of that pack on the jam is number 42, Noreen Gallagher for the Chiefs. Bombers failed to get a jammer out so far. Saunders up there trying to clear the way for a jammer. She can't get by Sandy Dunn. She can try to do the job of Carolyn Willard for that matter. Tucker up there. Bombers can't get a jammer out. The Chiefs really keeping them under control on this first jam here in the third period of play in the first half. And Gallagher closing on the pack. So Rosetta Saunders, number 36, drops back there to block. She's been a great addition to the Bomber team this year. Laszlo out for so long with injuries. Laszlo should be with him on their opener in the East, though, against his chief club. Saunders decking Gallagher. Now Sandy Dunn is trying to get back there, but the opening blocking that they did has put them out of position to get back there to help their jammer. As Tucker is keeping Sandy Dunn from dropping back, and Saunders doing the job on Noreen Gallagher. Quite a ways behind the pack there, blocking by Saunders. Warren to close. The pack has come to a standstill, though. Pack standing still out there on the track. Not still, but in the same spot. Sandy Dunn goes back, and down in a heap they go. That kills the threat. Time runs out. No score on the play. It remains 12-10. The Chiefs lead the Bombers. Tell you, Jerry, you know, one of the things about the Chief fans in the East, I think they know this game as well, if not better, than any section in the country.
Extremely knowledgeable. You're amazed as you sit there, and the minute a play is wrong, the fans know it. Sometimes, Walt, you go into other cities elsewhere in the country, and you'll have just as many fans, and they'll be just as good at fans, but somehow the Chief fans just know exactly what this team is going to do, and they expect it. And they sit there, and they almost know what's happening before it happens.
And they appreciate and show their appreciation to the skaters when they pull off a good play. Right now, 4 jammers are out. Judy McGuire, Carolyn Moreland, or Debbie Thompson for the Chiefs. Carol Meyer and Kathy Pulliam for the Bombers. Judy McGuire gets the lead now. Debbie Thompson behind her. Bomber skaters, 31 Kathy Pulliam, 37 Carol Meyer, talking things over. Double block being set up in there by Debbie Thompson and McGuire. They take him from the outside, and away they go. Carol Meyer having a fine game. Looks like she's really rounded back into top shape for the Bomber Club. Carolyn Moreland back to the block along with Sandy Dunn. Here come Peanuts and Kathy Pulliam. Blocking in there by Sandy Dunn and Carolyn Moreland. No skating room. Carol Meyer tries it up the middle. Pulliam tries to break it up. Carol takes her shot in there. Cannot get through, and down she goes. Now it's Pulliam's turn, and she goes down. Carol Peanuts Meyer moving again. She's hit in there and put down. Time runs out. Time did run out. And a skate put up backwards by Moreland or Dunn. Got Pulliam right in the midsection. Saunders goes back to challenge Sandy Dunn for it. And she's the one that draws the warning. And score remains 12-10. Trainer out there checking with Pulliam. Over on the other side, Saunders was coming up to, Tucker was coming up to challenge somebody, and Sandy Dunn went up and gave her a belt with a skate in the midsection, and Sandy Dunn was caught. She'll go to the penalty box.
Carolyn Moreland and Judy McGuire have turned in quite a team for the Chiefs. They're out there working the Bomber jammers over as soon as the jam ends.
So on this next jam, we'll have 4 Chiefs out there, and we'll have 5 Bombers. Sandy Dunn in the penalty box for 1 minute. 12-10 is the score. The Chiefs on top. 8:05 to go here in the third period of play in the first half. Moreland with a pivot helmet. Talking to Rosetta Saunders, wearing it for the Bombers. Saunders the block on Moreland, moves her out of there. Claudia Hobby moves up for the Chiefs, gets out on the jam. 60 seconds starts to tick off. The only jammer out is a Chief jammer again. Now whipped out of there, finally for the Bombers. Althea Gandy, number 39, which is quite a ways back. The rear of the pack, Moreland battling with Rosetta Saunders. And Moreland is winning this battle. Here comes Hobby. She goes by for the point. Now blocking in the pack on Tucker and Bonema. Another point in there for Hobby, who finally ends up in the rail, but she cut off the jam before she went over the rail. She picked up 2 points in there for the Chiefs. And they now lead the Bombers 14-10.
A couple of things are evident here. One, Sandy Dunn has gotten to the women's squad after that first period, in which the Chiefs were really just out there scrambling, and has said, stop fighting, let's skate, because we can outskate the Bomber team. And one of the main reasons they're doing so well right now, of course, Big Margie Laszlo out of that Bomber lineup. She'll be back in it when the Bombers come to New York and Massachusetts and the whole eastern seaboard to meet the Chief team. That's going to make quite a difference on this Bomber team, Walt.
Yes, quite a difference on the Chief team is going to be Bob Woodbury.
Oh, you can't. What a matchup these teams are going to be.
Here we go. There's been nothing but bad blood between Charlie O'Connell and Bob Woodbury for several years. Woodbury now a member of the Chiefs will be when they open in the East. Carol Meyer just getting up speed. She's going to be passed by both jammers. But it wasn't illegal blocking. It was illegal blocking. They will not allow it in there. I'll have the officials who have to untangle this play. They gave signals and whistles and all kinds of motions out there. And I don't know what they were trying to get across to the skaters because they're all still moving in there and still blocking. Over the rail goes Kathy Pulley and put there Moreland. Let's see what they say now. 4. Saunders shoved over there by Judy McGuire. 4 points by the 5 points. 3 by one, 2 by the other, and it's a total of 5. It's 19 on the scoreboard now for the Chiefs to 10 for the Bombers. Look out. Carol Meyer and Judy McGuire over there on the rail. Sandy Dunn gets in there to calm her teammate down, Judy McGuire. Well, Sandy Dunn is a peacemaker of something different, Jerry.
As I said before, they lost a lot of valuable points in that first period because of fighting. And Sandy Dunn I think, definitely feels that her girls' team can outskate this Bombers girl team as they are right now.
Well, she gave them an example then of how to stay out of trouble. McGuire still John at Bill Morrissey, one of the officials. Here we go. Packs being formed. Jammers starting from the rear of the pack with 5:12 to go here in the third period of play. A lot of mail about where are the training schools and how do we get training school information. We'll try and pass it on to you. Out on the jam, Noreen Gallagher for the Chiefs, and moving on her for the Bombers, number 33, Elaine Bonema. So each team has a jammer out on the play. Both teams at full strength. Bonema with a block in there, and Gallagher grabs the lead. Oh, down in a heap they go. Bonema rolling over the top of Gallagher. Gallagher got up first and went down again, and Bonema got away from there, so Bonema now has the lead. She's got Carol Penis-Meyer as a blocker, all 90 pounds of her. Down low is the only way she can do it. Takes out Sandy Dunn, and picking up a point, Elaine Bonema. On the rail, they've got Judy McGuire surrounded by Bomber shirts. Bill Morrissey in there to make sure things don't get out of hand. And he keeps things under control. 1 point Bombers. They have 11 on the scoreboard now, and the Chiefs have 19.
Among the letters I notice you get all the time, Walt, and of course, generally if they have to do with the league, you pass them on. More people write you asking how can you become a skater. And if you would like to become a roller derby skater and enter a training school, perhaps find a whole new career in this great expanding league, write to Roller Derby Training Centers, Post Office Box 1827, Oakland, California 94604. We'll send you information and Walt, a brand new school opening in the East. You can get information about that by writing to this address, Box 1827, Oakland, California.
Look out, in trouble, McGuire. Carol clobbers her. Off balance, couldn't retain her balance, and Carol took the shot and put Judy McGuire back in the pack. So Carol Penis-Meyer moving by herself on the jam now, number 37 for the Bombers. There are 2 other jammers out, but they're quite a ways back. Judy McGuire at the rear of the pack now. She wants a shot at Carol Penis-Meyer. She's going to get that opportunity. There's Carol. Judy with a block. Judy with another block on Carol. Penis-Meyer looking for skating room. She's not finding any. Saunders trying to get back to give her some help, and Moreland and Sandy Dunn are making sure that Rosetta Saunders does not get back there. Leg block by Judy. Elbow block by Judy McGuire. Penis-Meyer, 37, being slowed down, hammered again in there by Judy McGuire. Time running short on the jam. Saunders fighting, but can't get back there. Judy McGuire enjoying her work. Says, come on, Carol, try it again. Oh! Nothing like overconfidence. Time runs out, but the point was scored. As Penis-Meyer showed you how. He's on the track now, though. Judy skates up there, but doesn't do anything. Saunders checked with her. Carol, after scoring that point, ran into a blocker, and down she went hard. So the Bombers have 12 now, and the Chiefs have 19 on the scoreboard.
I can't remember the last game where the Bombers have been held to just 4 points a period for the first 3 periods, Walt, and it's generally, you'll find the teams will generally get off pretty fast against each other. But right now, the Chiefs have really contained the Bomber offense.
Here we go again. Pack being formed. Jammer starting to the rear of the pack. Tucker has a jammer's helmet on. And she's out of there for the Bombers. Well, Jerry, they're going to try and do something about it, but Sandy Dunn and Carol Moreland are chasing Dolores Tucker. They're moving on her. Here comes Rosetta Saunders for the Bombers. All 4 big guns out on the play. Look out! Look out! Oh, man. Tucker with a key block. Put him off balance. Saunders, Penny, Sandy Dunn, and Moreland. They've rejoined the pack now, and the Bombers with the double-barrel threat approaching. Dolores Tucker, 34. Rosetta Saunders, 36. The Bombers trail by 7. Minute 22 to go in this period. First Tucker got it. Now Saunders trying to get through there. Saunders again tries and cannot find through room. Again, she tries to go through and she's decked again. Tucker's going to try now. Jumps in there. Can't get through. Jammers moving for the Chiefs, who's a half a lap back now. There they go. 2 points apiece. And a pull away, except for McGuire, who's hooked by Carol Meyer. Look out, McGuire being thrown over the rail by Carol Meyer. Eunice Meyer throwing Judy McGuire over the rail. McGuire comes back in the track and she's stomping mad. 4 points for the Bombers. Evidently they didn't get by McGuire, who was being blocked out by Carroll before time ran out, so they only got 4. With the Bombers 16 and the Chiefs. Oh, there we go. They got a bomber in there. It must be Saunders. It is. Tucker gets in to help her teammate out. Waves a right. Ooh, right. And she smashes Sandy Dunn. Sandy Dunn comes fighting back, though. Tucker skates away. Now Saunders in there. Saunders grabbed by Sandy Dunn. Ooh, what a right hand by Dunn. Another right hand by Dunn.
Well, she is strong.
Fire finishes her. Here comes Tucker again. He lays a right hand into Sandy Dunn. She goes down for the force of her own punch. Officials break it up. Well, that's the end of the third period of play with the score now. The Bay Area Bombers 16 and the Chiefs 19. Here we go again. Out on the jam as the men take over here in the fourth period of play. A lot of action yet to go. An interview at the end of the second half. Bob Dansell in the jam. He's a block into Joe Perez. Hits him again. Perez uses the rail and stays up. That's why you use that rail. Comes in mighty handy. Perez, a knee into Dansell. Elbow block in there by Joe Perez. They're moving on the pack now. Bombers have 3 skaters out there. 2 girls, 2 penalties. The Chiefs have 1 skater in the penalty box. Dansell belted by Perez. Perez belted by Roman. Roman with the Jammers helmet on is not out on this jam. He's a blocker back to Dansell. Finished up Joe Perez, moving behind Tony Roman, moving on Bill Grove. There he goes. Bill Grove, beautiful. He was not suckered on that play. There he's taken out of there by Roman. That paved the way for the point. Just after Bill Grove recovered nicely from an attempted feint by Roman, he was then taken out by Roman. 19-17 is now the score. 1 point picked up in there. We got a good one going here, Jerry. No question about that.
Man, for the fans who just joined us, these first 3 periods of this game has probably been the hardest fought these teams have played all year, and these are 2 of the best teams, of course, in the league. The Bay Area season nearing an end. The competition's gotten something fierce with the playoffs coming up here.
Oh, here we go again. Moving out of the pack, Sam Tiapola with the Jammers helmet on for the Chiefs. Being chased by Chris Rowe, number 32 of the Bombers. Each team is a man out and moving on this play. 2 points separating these 2 clubs. Boy, these girls had a wild first and third period. Tiapola alongside of the block on Chris Rowe. They're hitting in that pack, too. They've been hitting since this game started. Right now, O'Connell is on the infield, talking to Tony Roman. Chris Rowe hit by Tiapola, hit again by Tiapola. There goes his helmet. He stays up, though. Larry Lee back to the block, number 44 for the Chiefs. This Larry Lee's a fine one. He's slowing down Chris Rowe. Alvin Mallory, 33, blocking for the Bombers. He has a Jammers helmet on, but he is not in scoring position. He did not go out of the pack on the jam. Mallory, 33, with another block on Tiapola. There they are. Another block in there. Larry Lee dumped Chris Rowe. He's moving now on Mallory. Hammers Mallory. Mallory's passed by Tiapola. Tiapola scores 1. Larry Lee going after Jim Cook. Jim Cook gets a ray from him, though. Cook, 38. And Tiapola cuts off the jam. Settles for that 1 point. Makes the score now the Chiefs 20 and the Bombers 17.
Charlie O'Connell coming onto the track now, following the pattern he's followed so successfully all season. As a couple of the skaters have a few words out there, and that is staying out the first couple of jams, and that's kept him fresh. Well, I don't remember when he's skated this well this long this season.
Makes a difference, I guess, if you pace yourself, and that's certainly what he has done this year. We have Gold Dust wins. Joe Perez, John Early out on the play. 2 lookalikes. Tony Roman challenging them. And Bob Dansell is coming up to give Roman some help. Roman goes in, takes them both down. Dansell, great move over the top, skates away. Tony Roman having a fine game. He better, because his wife, Carol Myers, had a fine first half. Roman working on him. Early puts him down, and Dansell goes by him for a point. He blasted him early back into the pack, through the pack, and out of the pack at the rear end, and finally a point in there. Tony Roman really doing a job that time on John Early, number 47 of the Chiefs. Bombers pick up one. They have 18 now, and the Chiefs have 20.
Of course, coming in the Chief lineup right now is Mike Gammon, number 45, and he and Tony Roman are quite a matchup. But due to the jamming rotation, they do not really go in the same jams as much as people would think.
On the infield, John Early after Roman, an official gets in between them. Here we go. On the outside, Alvin Mallory for the Bombers. With the start of the bleed with the Roscoe, carried him all the way around that pack. And Bill Grohl takes off in pursuit now. Mallory doesn't know he's coming. Now he does, and it's going to be too late. Here comes Charlie O. Charlie O. Bill Grohl hit by Charlie O'Connell. It slowed down Mallory. O'Connell has a blocker's helmet on. He can't cut off the jam. He can't score. He can slow down Bill Grohl. That's what he's doing. Chris Rowe goes by, but he's being chased by Mike Gammon of the Chiefs. At the head of the pack, Bill Grohl belting O'Connell now. On the jam, it's Chris Rowe, 32, Mike Gammon, 45, right behind him. O'Connell and Bill Grohl at the rear of the pack. Bill Grohl goes down. Here comes Chris Rowe, moving on Bill Grohl, 49. Bill Grohl hammers a block into him, lays him up on the rail, hangs him on the rail. Mike Gammon moving behind Bill Grohl now, moving in Charlie O'Connell. There's Mike Gammon. He's going to move in there. Bill Grohl blocking on O'Connell. Gammon goes by for that point. Then he's hit by Gil Orozco. Bill Grohl still working on Charlie O'Connell even after his man has scored. Slams O'Connell into the rail. Then he hooks Chris Rowe with the block. Takes him all the way across the infield. And lays a right hand on the chin. Now he goes after Orozco, I believe. Bill Grohl had a block on Chris Rowe. Did nothing illegal. Took him all the way across the track, up on the rail. And when he got him on the rail, he hammered a right hand in there. There was one Chief point on the play. I don't know about penalties here.
I'm sure referee Kendall signaled 1 minute on Bill Grohl.
Fans in the Bay Area have some action coming up this week. They have a game in San Jose tomorrow night. And coming up this Wednesday in Modesto at a place called Del Webb Field. And the people who are in the Chief Network will certainly know about Del Webb.
Of course, one of the original owners of the Yankees.
And in the days when nobody could beat him.
Right, in the days when nobody could beat him. And the Modesto team represented the Yankee chain for so long. They named the ballpark after him.
I remember reading about those days, Jerry. Did you ever see any of their games?
That's when baseball was really good. Not when they had these funny teams in the yellow and green uniforms.
Here we go on the jam. John Early is out again, and Tony Roman to challenge him on the play. Watch the action now. Here we go. John Early, Tony Roman. There we go, Roman. Bing, 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 bang. John Early is going to remember Tony Roman. Don't forget the last half. Don't forget the interview at the end of this half. Don't forget the Chiefs open in the East against the Bombers. Tony Roman blocked out by John Early now. Early is back there with his jammer's helmet on, but remember, he is no longer in scoring position. Same thing holds true for Bob Dansell, 34, tried to move him out of there. Coming up in scoring position, though, is Sam Tiapulla with the pivot helmet for the Chiefs. Tiapulla goes to the infield. I don't think he got by anybody on the track. Roman decked by John Early. Early talking to Tiapulla now. Pete Boyd to the block on Tiapulla, but here comes Roman. Early, I have to worry about him rather than helping Tiapulla right now. 2 seconds, 1, and that's it. No score on the jam. They're still blocking. Just shortly after the jam had ended. 21-18 the score remains. The Chiefs lead the Bombers. Looks like Mike Gammon's going to challenge Pete Boyd. It better be a skating match. He's really jogging away at Pete Boyd.
Pete Boyd must have, what, 100 pounds on Mike Gammon? Probably more than that. Pete right now is about 240. Mike Gammon, I think, skates at about 125 or 130 pounds. This can't say positively this is a big man's game because how long has Mike been skating now, Walt? 13, 14, 15 years, I believe.
How old is Mike?
Mike is 30 years old.
That's right, Tim, 15 years. Should have mentioned that. But he grew up on skates. On skates, he is as big as they come. To be a star in this game, you have to be great. These are the greatest skaters in the world today on the bank track. There are none to compare. Alvin Mallory moving now. In trouble at the rear of the pack, Mike Gammon. That was Charlie O'Connell blocking on him. Mike Gammon Gets set for Alvin Mallory's challenge. Here comes Tiapula on the jam. He goes by Mallory. Mallory covers. It's blocking Tiapula. Gammon gets away from the rear of the pack. Bill Grohl takes over. There's Mallory moving. Bill Grohl with the block. Tiapula moving up. Charlie O'Connell keeping it. Charlie O'Connell with a burst of speed. Hammers Bill Grohl. And Mallory scores and cuts it off. Gammon went over the rail by O'Connell. Bill Grohl takes the right hand of O'Connell. O'Connell got underneath it. Here comes Gammon back on the track behind O'Connell. Gammon in the other. Look out. I tell you, when you're moving on skates, the target you're trying to hit is standing still. You're at a disadvantage because he can just one little jump and you cannot change your course that fast, as Bill Grohl and Mike Gammon just found out. On that play, O'Connell with a great play. He was blocking back there, keeping an eye on Tiapula, and then he saw he had just a split opening to hit Bill Grohl and still not be fast, which he did. Mallory moved behind him for the bomber point. 21-19 to score now, the Chiefs on top.
I see Joan Weston just coming in the building, followed by a legion of fans. She'll, of course, watch last part of this game, and here at Kezar today we have a doubleheader. The Pioneer skating the Jolers in the other half of it. There'll be a big doubleheader coming up in the other parts of the country, and they'll hear about them in their areas.
Well, the pack's being formed, and away we go again. On the jam, Joe Perez and Tony Roman to challenge him. There they are. Roman with the block on Perez. These men move around that track. Great speeds. O'Connell and Bill Grohl. Roman puts Perez down, moves on Bill Grohl now. Bill Grohl with the block on Roman. O'Connell gets back there, but Bill Grohl shoves him ahead. O'Connell shoved clear around the pack. O'Connell takes off on the jam. Now Bill Grohl shoved O'Connell out of the way and shoved him clear around the track. Look at O'Connell burn up this track. Here he comes. The head of steam went right on his back. Then Roman moved in for the points. I don't know about Bill Grohl. Trainer's checking with him. O'Connell going wide open. Faster than 40 miles an hour, and Bill Grohl broke away from the block in front of him, and O'Connell up in the air, right on top of him. The other end now.
We got a fight.
Oh, Dansell tries to challenge Perez. They're hammering away in there. Bill Grohl is up. That's good. Don't want to see anybody hurt.
Walt, you're going to be talking to Bill Grohl at halftime, and I'm sure he's going to have a few words about this.
Oh, man, I was just afraid he might have been hurt on that play, Jerry. Roman went by after Bill Grohl, and he scored, and the score is 23-21 now. The Bombers grab the lead, and they will not get the pack organized for another jam here in the first half. 10 seconds left. See him. Look, they're out of there. 5 seconds left. This jam goes the full 60 now. Mike Gammon got out of there. Chris Grohl chasing them. 23-21 the Bombers. Bill Grohl after O'Connell at the rear of the pack. O'Connell and Bill Grohl hammering away. Bill Grohl into the rail. Chris Grohl decked by Mike Gammon. Mike Gammon moving on O'Connell. O'Connell meets him in the block. Bill Grohl after O'Connell. Gammon goes by him for a point and then cuts it off. He cut it off because Bill Grohl was down. There was a chance he would be passed for a point. So Gammon, rather than gamble for more, cut off the jam. A good, smart move. Well, that brought an end to the first half of play. And O'Connell still having words over here with Mike Gammon on. Bill Grohl moves and hammers O'Connell. Mike Gammon, they've got O'Connell on the rail, and they're blasting away. Jim Cook throws himself in there. Pete Boyd's in there. Bill Grohl just throwing right hands at whoever gets in his way. Officials trying to get them apart. This half is over, but we got to break it up out there on the track. Well, that's the end of the first half. With the score, the Bay Area Bombers 23 and the Chiefs 22. Well, the score here at halftime is 23-22. The Bombers leading the Chiefs. We have here Bill Grohl, head man of the Chiefs. And Bill, this is going to be news to a lot of people in the East. It's a subject that we got to talk about because you have it tough out on the track, but you're going to have it tougher in a way. I'd like to know what's your reasoning behind signing Bob Woodbury as a member of the Chief Club.
Well, it's like everybody knows, the fans they've been screaming at me, get a big man, give me a hand out there. I've been looking and looking and looking. I'll tell you, it's hard to find a big man to stay out here and really, put everything out and stay up on those skates. So I just took a wild shot here. We're taking a wild chance at it. We're going to give Woodbury a chance. Believe it or not, Woody is really serious about skating. I mean skating now, Woody's had a style of his own of skating, if you want to call it a style, but I'm going to give him one shot, and that's it. And I am hoping I can handle him, because I've skated with Woody. I remember one year Woody skated great, and if I'm not mistaken, he was either got king or most valuable player. Did a brilliant job. I know he can do this. He has the potential.
Well, there's a baseball manager took a trial on a man, and he turned him into the most valuable player in the league. You may be able to do the same thing with Bob Woodbury. He's got a lot of talent, Bill.
He does, really. It's just a matter of staying on him. You got to stay on Woody. You can't let him drift and what have you, because there's no telling what to do. You got to stay on him all the time. I'm hoping I can handle him, really. And then, of course, Mike might be able to help out there. I don't know. We hope.
Well, you've had a speed-burning team, Bill, but now you're going to have the size to go with it. And, of course, the first opponent you're going to face in the East when you open your fall season is going to be this Bay Bomber team.
That's right. And while we're opening up with one of the toughest, if not the toughest team in the league, I'm looking forward to it. I know everybody else is, and I'd rather start with the best in the league, That is, we've been on top for so damn long now, and the Bombers, they, I don't know, there's something about a rivalry back and forth, but I think you got a rivalry with every team, But the Bombers, fans don't like them back there in New York,
Yeah, but the fact that O'Connell started with that Chi team when they were put back together in the East, and then you moved in for Charlie, has created a little more rivalry than the ordinary competition between two clubs.
Well, this is maybe true, but I think a lot of it may be, I think a lot of it could be with the fans pushing a lot of it, because Charlie left and this and that, so they want to see the man, put down. But Charlie, you can't take it away from the man. He's great. And myself going up against Charlie, well, I'd rather go against O'Connell than anybody, because you beat him, you're beating the best in the business.
Well, you're a great one, Bill. You're the best in the business. Thanks very much for talking with us, and good luck handling Bob Woodbury.
Thank you.
Bill Grohl has signed Bob Woodbury for the Chiefs. Should be a great addition to that club. Couldn't still keep them on top of the ladder. Score here at halftime, 23-22. The Bombers lead the Chiefs. As Walt Harris speaking from Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. Well, that jam came to an end. With no points scored on the play, no 2 points were scored. The Saunders got up there and win by a couple of Bombers. This is action coming your way from Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in the city of San Francisco. It's the Bombers against the Chiefs. Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer calling the action as we pick up the action here in the 5th period of play with 6:08 to go. The score is all tied up at 25 points apiece. We've got a great one going here. Chiefs and the Bombers, they explode whenever they face each other out here on the West Coast, and they're also looking forward to their big opener in the East when the Chiefs host the Bombers to start their fall season underway.
Every week we say, here we are at Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. We've had people write to us and say, isn't that where the 49ers used to play football? That's Kezar Stadium. That's right outside here. This is a basketball pavilion. Seats about 4,400 seats. It's 50 years old. And Walt, many people don't realize this is where the mighty Bill Russell played all of his college basketball. Right here where these skaters are now skating.
Here we go again. On the jam. Claudia Hodney, she has a point in there. Moreland, McGuire, and Sandy Dunn had Saunders against the rail, had her pinned there. Here comes Tucker in there now to peel him out of there. And she's going to get it from Moreland and Sandy Dunn, and she's really being hammered. They had her hemmed in there, and the jammer went by for the point, Hodney. So the Chiefs lead 26-25. There's McGuire with another block in there, and there's Moreland, and we got Bombers on the deck all over the place. O'Connell going down there to see what's going on. Second with his skaters, grabs Carol by the hand, wants to talk with her. This Carol Meyer had a tremendous first half for the Bombers. I think O'Connell's saying, get your brass knuckles ready. We're going to need them before this is finished. So the pack's formed, the play will get underway again. Jammers trying to work their way out of there. Sandy Dunn is in the penalty box. Dolores Tucker's in the penalty box for the Bombers. Each team one skater short. 4:14 to go in the 5th period. Kathy Pulliam on the jam, 31, and with her Judy McGuire, the flashing blonde, 45. Pulliam trying to get the inside blocking position. Lays a leg up there, an elbow. She's got McGuire going. Hits her again. McGuire takes a lot of going over, though, before she'll go down. Into the rail she goes. Crowd roars. Pulliam out of the penalty box, gave Sandy Dunn, and Pulliam went by her. Now that could be a point. Or it is a point or a penalty. A penalty would also be a point. Sandy Dunn goes back to the penalty box. Pulliam could have a point in there. I don't know. Moreland blocking. Moreland underneath Moreland, crawling by her. Moreland tried to hook her with a skate, but Pulliam was able to get by. Sandy Dunn goes back to time right now since she withheld her block. Eaton drawing a penalty. He gets a knee from Saunders. Shows her helmet. Saunders gets a... I don't know. Here we go. Look out. Oh, these gals really having a battle in this game. Finley and Saunders, there was a point on the play, and it tied it up at 26 all. 2:55 to go in this period. And there's a right hand by Carol Meyer and McGuire. Carol Meyer checked the referees and laid a right hand on Judy McGuire's chops and skated away. All in one motion. Oh, these gals, Jerry.
Well, they're in their last series of the season here at home with the Chiefs, the Bombers are, and I guess they just want to get everything out in these last few games.
Here we go. Saunders is in the penalty box for the Bombers. They're one skater short. Chiefs have 5 out there. They get 2 jammers out, Claudia Hodney and Judy McGuire. Carol Penis-Meyer to challenge them. Oh, man. Little Carol. She gets a lead. She'll cut off the jam, but it's a tough job. That's why she keeps trying. There, she got through. She doesn't have to cut it off. Oh, she had already cut it off. Hands in the hips. That killed the jam. She could have moved. 26-26 the score remains. 1:50 to go now in this period. Judy McGuire and Hobby having a chat here about that last play. They didn't like the results of it. Sandy Dunn down at the other end to tie her skates. He's up and rejoins the pack. Saunders back on the track for the Bombers. They're at full strength again. Saunders up front. Carol Meyer behind her. Here's the whip. Judy McGuire to the inside. Trying to cut Carol off. This Judy jamming almost every play here for the Chiefs. She's really working hard. Carol working on her now. Look at that backward kick. An elbow block in there. Judy is down. Carol Peanuts-Meyer moving by herself now on the play. Bombers have the only threat out. Score 26 all. 1 minute to go in this period. A pull away here by the Chiefs. The Chiefs with a pull away. They're out and they're moving. They're going to skate out the time in this jam. They're pulling away. Tucker trying to catch up to it. Now Tucker taking things into her own hands, but she's decked by Sandy Dunn, who protected the rear of the pull away. And they're pulling away. They're going to make it work here against the Bombers. Tucker in front of the pack, way behind now. She can be passed for points back there. She puts a block on set. Look out! Look out! Look out! How much time?
I think they're going to call her for blocking more than 20 feet behind the pack, Walt.
That's exactly what they did. I finally found out when the officials call that play.
And they
When
gave
you're
the
left
whole
back.
lap.
There's no points awarded. Tucker was more than 20 feet behind the pack. No points allowed. That is the end of the 5th period of play with the score of Bay Area Bombers 26 and the Chiefs 26. We're moving now into the 6th period of play. This action coming your way from Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer here at the mic. On the jam for the Chiefs, moving John Early, whipped after him Tony Roman by Pete Boyd. Boyd whipping out the man who's given John Early a bad time in the first half, Tony Roman. Roman goes by. Early trying to pick up speed to stay with him. Bombers minus a skater. Penalty at the end of that girls' period. Cost him a skater. Roman has got the back. John Early has got Roman. There's Pete Boyd taking a shot at John Early, 47. Sam Tiapula back there, 42, blocking on Tony Roman. Another block by Tiapula. Another block by Tiapula. Roman moving the outside. Tiapula cuts him off. Hits him again. Pete Boyd still doing the job on John Early of the Chiefs. Slams him hard into the rail. Diapola working on Roman. Bill Grohl takes a shot at Roman, puts him down. Pete Boyd puts Early into the rail. 3 seconds, 2, 1. Roman with the final block there. No point scored. Early hitting the deck, Roman putting on the final block. It remains all tied up at 26 points apiece.
This period right now is starting out just a little bit slower than the previous men's periods. I think they realize that at the end of the 8th, the team that's in front is the most important. And right throughout this whole game, well, both teams just been wearing each other down, especially on this men's team. They have been hitting and hitting and hitting. And the Bombers' tactics usually, the first 2-3 jams, to try and just hold that score down until O'Connell comes in.
And Chris Rowe is out of there first for the Bombers. Whipped after him, Larry Lee, 44 for the Chiefs. Also in the pack for the Chiefs, Lloyd Turpin with the blocker's helmet on. Sam Tiapola, number 32. Mike Hammond, 45, with Jammer's helmet on. He did not go out of the play. For the Bombers, Gil Orozco's in there. Alan Mallory, Jim Cook. Looked out. Larry Lee is down, and away goes Chris Rowe. Number 32 for the Bombers. Bill Grohl back there to block. Ex-ball player, ex-amateur boxer. Pretty good country golfer. Great all-around athlete. Larry Lee moving up there. Block in there by Gil Orozco. Orozco with another block on Larry Lee. Chris Rowe is the jammer. Bill Grohl blocking. Moving in there and cutting off the jam, Larry Lee for 1 point. Orozco out on the floor. Bill Grohl doing the blocking, 1 cheap point on the play. That makes the score now 27-26. Trainer out to the check with Gil Orozco. He hasn't showed up yet. O'Connell, Roman over the rail. Dan Sale, there he is. He's getting up.
Well, yesterday I was up in Portland, Oregon. Of course, that's one of our great cities on our network. It's been on for 14 years now. A lot of great Bomber fans up there, talking to Jeffrey Weinstein and a young man named Overback. They watch every week, and they said the only weeks we don't watch are the weeks when Walt Harris isn't on. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. I don't know if I want to go up to Portland again or not. I went through there, matter of fact, about a month ago.
I have many times with Boston State being my home state. On the jam, Joe Perez and Bob Dansell moving on him. Dansell with the block on Perez. O'Connell keeping Tiapola from helping his teammate. Tiapola down, back in the pack, put there by Charlie O. Dansell is down, put there by Joe Perez, moving alone for the Chiefs now. Lead by 1 here in the 6th period of play. Tony Roman way behind the pack now, number 37. So is Bob Dansell. The 2 Bomber jammers are right back where they started. Neither one in scoring position, but the man that is, Joe Perez, 43. Roman blocking on Perez. Dansell, they're taking turns. He's down. He bounces up again. Roman sets himself. Another block in there. Perez spins around, gets to his skate. Dansell back there. Hammers a block in there. John Early trying to get back to help his teammate out, but Dansell gives him a shove. Another block by Dansell. Roman. Look at these. Roman caught in the middle there between Early and Perez that time. Here comes Pete Boyd on the jam with a jammer's helmet on. He scores a point. And he runs into Bill Grohl and goes down, but Pete Boyd has a point. Look out. Roman, 1 minute for penalty, 1 minute penalty for punching. And John Early will testify to that.
Well, this
the moving wall got a surprising point in there, Gary.
all of a sudden he came out of nowhere, but that shows you the speed of that man. And again, O'Connell joins the Bomber team, makes quite a difference.
Roman just drew a fine. He'd already drawn a penalty as Early tried to get up. Roman came skating by and put him down again with a kick.
O'Connell is going to be the guest at the end of this game, and I'm sure he's going to want to talk about upcoming games the Bombers are going to be involved in. And, well, he told me at halftime he's going to use a play in the last period of this game that he has not used in 10 years, and should be a surprise.
In the last period, we'll look for that. On the jam, Alvin Mallory. Moving with him, Larry Lee for the Chiefs. 2 fine skaters out on this play. Charlie O'Connell with a big secret play to be used in the last period of this game. Try and take the Chiefs by surprise. Might be he'll need it to win this game. Look out. Pete Boyd blocking Larry Lee. Lee is down. Alvin Mallory being blocked out by Tiapola, number 42 of the Chiefs. Tiapola with another block. Here's Pete Boyd. Lou. He almost hit Mallory. He recovered in time as Tiapula got out of the way. They're moving now on Tiapula. Time running short on the jam. Pete Boyd. Tiapula got away from him. Pete Boyd is down. Boyd up and moving again. Look at him recover. He hits Tiapula to the infield. O'Connell takes out Lloyd Turpin, though, and he's passed by Mallory. Could be how many? 2 Bomber points in there. Mallory's held up by O'Connell. Bombers scoring that time. The Chiefs got things a little crossed. So the score goes to 30 for the Bombers, 27 for the Chiefs. 5:30 to go here in this period.
If any viewers would like a free copy of the rules, or if you'd like to put your name on the mailing list and receive special advance information on upcoming games in your area, write to Rules and Mailing List, Post Office Box 1828, Oakland, California, 94604. Please be sure to include the city and the station on which you watch these games every week, and that will help us get either your rules or get you on the proper mailing list. We don't want to have you write in from Portland, Maine, and we send you information on games in Portland, Oregon.
Here we go. Tony Roman on the jam for the Bombers. Bill Grohl leading John Early out of it. John Early then gives a whip to Bill Grohl. And Roman cuts it off. Says, goodbye, Bill. Well, it isn't often that Tony Roman will refuse a challenge. I think what he really wanted to do was just to have a laugh at Bill Grohl for working so hard.
Well, of course, Bill has a very heavy load to carry out. They're really the only big experienced man on this team. Sam Tiapula is coming along real well, but Bill's the only one with any size. If the Bombers can tire him down, they have both Pete Boyd and Charlie O'Connell.
Mike Gammon, a blocker up front. He's going to give the whip to Bill Grohl again, who's chasing Chris Rowe of the Bombers. Bill Grohl moving on Chris Rowe. He's got him. Down he goes. I thought he might cut it off, too. Chris Rowe did not, and Bill Grohl is in charge right now for the Chiefs, who trail by 3. Charlie O'Connell back there to block. Look out now. Look out. Blocked in there by O'Connell. Another block by O'Connell. Don't forget, we're going to talk to Charlie O at the end of this game. Another block on Bill Grohl. Charlie O'Connell with another block. They're falling. Here's Mike Gammon going back there. Mike Gammon goes back, hits O'Connell. Hits him again. Grohl hits him. Grohl's passed him for a point, but he still wants to hammer him. And he is. He's still not satisfied. He's still working on O'Connell with the knee now. Bill Grohl draws the penalty, but he got his point legitimately. Mike Gammon jumps on O'Connell. So Bill Grohl draws a penalty, but it was after he scored his point. So the score is 30-28. I'll tell you that secret play is not really a secret. It just hasn't been used in over 10 years, so most fans have completely forgotten it. The one Jerry is mentioning that Charlie said he's going to use in the last quarter might have something to do with Bill Grohl, I think.
Well, I think it definitely will, but I'm sure all the fans are going to want to stay tuned and see this game right to the very end, because with these two teams, the Bombers won so many consecutive world titles. The Chiefs have won the last 3 playoffs in a row.
That was Gammon hitting O'Connell and decking him again. Pete Boyd trying to get Gammon and grabs a chair for protection. And Bill Grohl takes a swing at Pete Boyd as he goes by and misses him. O'Connell is down behind the Chief bench. Pete Boyd being pinned to the rail by a referee. Bill Morrissey being warned. Mike Gammon might have got away with the last punch on O'Connell. His action wasn't underway, and officials were not watching all the skaters. We have only 2 minutes left here in the second period of play. Then we'll have the girls on the track, and man, they've had a wild first half and a wild 5th period. 30-28, the Bombers lead the Chiefs. O'Connell is up and limping across the infield. In the penalty box is Bill Grohl. Mike Gammon got away with this action out there. He's whipping out. Joe Perez. Chasing Joe Perez is Bob Dansell of the Bombers, who are at full strength. The Chiefs have 4 out there. Well, the Bombers are minus Charlie O'Connell. But Mike Gammon being worked on by Tony Roman. Roman bouncing him around at the rear of the pack. The rear of the pack. There they are. Roman in there, pounding away. Roman again on Mike Gammon. Again, Gammon hard into the rail, and over he goes. Here comes Dansell to go by him for a point. Perez throws a block. Dansell gets away. He's already scored a point at Gammon. Cuts across the infield to rejoin the pack. I don't know if that's legal or not. can't be. Gammon slams him into the rail. Dansell moving on him again. Roman back to Roman to the block on Gammon. He's passed again. Bill Groh out of the penalty box, slugging away. Dansell is down, but he should have 2 points. Roman blocking on Perez. Perez hit by Groh as Roman got out of the way. Dansell up and limping again. Time runs out. Let's see if it's 2 Bomber points or not. Should be 2 points for passing Mike Gammon twice. When he went down, he did not rejoin the pack. That's the official, I think, is telling the official score and a public address announcer. That was when Gammon cut across the infield. He erased the lap, and he is vulnerable to being passed again. If he caught up with the pack and then blocked, he couldn't have been passed again twice for points because you'd have had to lap him again. But when Gammon cut across the infield, he killed that, and he is vulnerable again, and he was passed for another point. So that is the end of the 6th period of play with the score, the Bay Area Bombers 33 and the Chiefs 28. Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer trackside, Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. The Bombers and the Chiefs getting the 7th period underway with the score. The Bombers 33 and the Chiefs 28. On the jam, Claudia Hobby out with her for the Bombers, number 33, Elaine Bonema. Each team with 1 jammer moving on the play. Blocked by Hobdy, puts Bonema down, and away she goes, moving on the pack now. Back to the block for the Bombers, Rosetta Saunders, 36. Saunders the block and Hobdy that brought her mouth open in a yell. Hobdy moving again. Another block in there by Saunders. Coming on the jam again, Elaine Bonema, 33 for the Bombers. Hobdy puts a block on her. She stays up. Another block in there. Another block. Down they go. Bonema's up first. She's moving behind Saunders, blocking now. 2 seconds, so 1. Not in time. No point scored on the jam. It remains 33-28. The Bombers lead the Chiefs.
I don't think there's any doubt. Well, we're in for a wild last 2 periods of this game, and I'm really very curious what that jam is that Charlie O'Connell has been talking about that he's going to pull in this last period that we haven't seen in 10 years. I can't think of any play that you and I haven't seen in 10 seasons.
No, but knowing Charlie O'Connell, we might have seen it and forgotten it, but if it's a good one, he certainly wouldn't forget it. We'll find out if the Chiefs remember it. 33-28, here we go. Coming up on the jam and moving out of the pack, Carolyn Moreland for the Chiefs, 43 with her. Carol Meyer, 37 for the Bombers. Moreland with a block in there. Look out. Here comes Sandy Dunn on the play for the Chiefs. Moreland takes Carol Meyer down. Sandy Dunn moves away on the jam now. She is now the jammer. She has a pivot helmet on, but she has all the rights of a jammer. Sandy Dunn moving up. Saunders is back to the block, and Saunders wants this opportunity. Sandy Dunn moving up. Rosetta Saunders back there for the Bombers. They both go down off that hard block by Saunders. Tucker's back there now. She hammers a block into Sandy Dunn. Saunders says, come on, it's my turn. The pack is slowed to a walk. So they can block. The pack's not pulling away from them, so they're not losing any distance on the pack. Moreland fighting to get back there. Moreland coming back now, but she's hit by Saunders. Tucker, now Saunders and Sandy Dunn. They're really working over. Time runs out on the jam, but Saunders doesn't quit, and Tucker doesn't quit, and Saunders again. The Bombers are going to hurt. Now Moreland gets it from Saunders again, and Tucker gives it to Moreland. The Bombers are going to lose 2 skaters on this jam. That's for sure. McGuire gets it in there. Penalties each way on Saunders and Tucker. And the Chiefs are being picked up off the track. Fans roaring here in San Francisco. The people on the Chief Network, of course, realize naturally a highly partisan crowd, just as it is in New York, New Haven, or Boston. when the Chiefs are home, which they will be shortly, and they'll be there against this Bomber club. Saunders and Tucker to the penalty boxes. Bombers will go with 3 skaters. Little Carol Peanuts Meyer puts on that pivot helmet. Carol Meyer with the pivot helmet now.
The Bombers, of course, still hopeful that Margie Laszlo gets back in the lineup before the playoffs, but we should have a report on that shortly.
Out on the jam, it's Kathy Pulliam. She had smart, she'd cut it off right now, but she's worked on by Judy McGuire, and she's hammered down to the track. And Judy McGuire moves away for the Chiefs, so they have the only jammer out on the play. There are 3 Bombers in the pack. If those 3 are passed by Judy McGuire, she will get credit for the 2 in the penalty box. Carol Meyer was going to have to do the job of the Bombers. 33-29 is the score. Carol Meyer back to box. Judy says, give me some help. Sandy Dunn tells her to do it on her own. Carol Meyer puts her down. Little Carol working on the flashing blonde. Judy McGuire again. Carol with the block. And again, she doesn't even wait for Judy to get up. On the track comes Saunders and Tucker. They're back in action. They've rejoined it. Behind the pack, Carol Meyer too far. She's going to draw a penalty. Here comes Sandy Dunn backwards. He hits Carol, but Carol took McGuire down the crossing. Judy, Sandy Dunn hanging by the skates out on the track, and she's being kicked the rest of the way by Tucker. Sandy Dunn was helpless there. The skates caught her on the rail, hanging down, and Tucker came back to finish the job. McGuire spread eagle. This Bomber club showing everything they've got, including skates, fists, and elbows. 33-29 to score. I don't think Tucker will be long for the track. I don't know. No point was awarded that I saw, and yet Carol was quite a ways behind the pack, and she decks Judy McGuire again. Nobody's looking. She gets away with it. Skates away. Arms outspread. It didn't hit anybody. Past Judy, who's down here spread eagle. Director George Lum getting you all the good shots out there. Later of Mike Cameron. John Anderson, Larry Landis, Bernie Fields. Rest of our crew, John Scroggs, Don Jackson. Board Director Stanley Potter. Al Nielsen.
I wonder what kind of reception this Bomber team is going to get, Walt, when they have to go back in the Chiefs' home territory and skate.
The Bombers didn't lose anybody in penalties that time. I don't know where the officials were, and Tucker put Sandy Dunn the rest of the way over the track. They've got Carol in the fact that all 4 girls have Carol Peanuts Meyer. They're working on her. They've got a jammer coming up, too. He scored and cut it off. Carol's left on the track. Debbie Thompson, Sandy Dunn, Judy McGuire, Carolyn Mullen, all 4 girls had Carol Meyer, and they were really working her over.
A very strange ruling, and it's just a technical error on the part of the Chiefs, Walt. They had on 3 jamming helmets. That's illegal. If you look on the track right now, one of them just left. They had 3 jammers on the play. You can't do that, therefore that wipes out their score.
That's amazing. I couldn't figure out what happened. I knew the rule was going to go against them, but I couldn't figure out why.
And you have to say something. With all that's going on out there, Bill Morrissey and Hugh Candle, who we often say, well, gee, they didn't see everything. That was a pretty good call.
Because that is actually the first time in my memory that I've seen that play call. Well, just like the play O'Connell's going to use in the last period. Look out, they've got Saunders now. There's Hobby for the point. They're picking out a Bomber and working her over, and her jammer is going by for the point. Tucker gets in there. Saunders a little wobbly right now. Another point in there. That point counted for the Chiefs. They have 30 now. The Bombers have 33.
You know, we get a lot of letters from people say, how can we get one of these great teams to come to our city, and how big an area do you have to play on? Well, we can set up this track on any basketball court. So if you'd like to have a game scheduled in your area for a charity purpose, that is non-political and, of course, no profit, and you have a gym at a high school or college or an arena that seats more than 2,500 people, write to bookings, Post Office Box 1827, Oakland, California 94604.
Here come the Chief Jammers. They've got a bomber again. It's 2 points this time, as they have 2 jammers out there. And they're still blocking after the play, and Bill Morrissey comes down here. Now, he might call a penalty. There certainly was action after the jam ended. He does not call a penalty. All skaters stay on the track. 2 points for the Chiefs. They have 32, and the Bombers have 33. Jerry, how about the Indianapolis Speedway?
Well, Walt, the only problem we have there is the cars cannot stay on this track. Now, we've had bicycles and midget cars, but I'm afraid that the safety factor of this track is about 9 miles an hour for an Indianapolis-type car.
Here we go. Jam's being formed. Pack will get under. Jam will get underway. Pack is already moving. 33-32. The Bombers lead by 1. 2.5 minutes to go in this period. Then we'll have the men on the track for that big 8th period and the final big explosion of this game. Chasing the Jolters. Closing out the year here in the Bay Area, and they open shortly in the East. And the Chiefs will be facing the Bombers in their home appearance as they start the 1973-74 season. Here is Judy in scoring position. Carol Meyer blocked out by Moreland, and Sandy Dunn is a point for Judy, who then cut off the jam. And that ties it up 33-33, and the strategy is certainly paying off here for the Chiefs, Jerry.
Well, they're going on just one man, and you think the Bombers would start to compensate. I should say one person.
Gloria Steinen's going to be mad.
Well, I'm using man in the generic sense, which refers to all species of the Homo sapiens.
That'll make her madder than ever.
At any rate, Walt, I forgot what I was going to say.
I just wait for you and Gloria Steinem to get on the same panel show, Jerry, in New York.
Maybe we can get a match race in Madison Square Garden. 6 laps, anything goes.
Judy McGuire on the jam, and Carol Peanuts Meyer taking off in pursuit for the Bombers now. Judy of the block. Here comes Sandy Dunn to give McGuire some help. She takes over the blocking on Carol Peanuts Meyer now, letting Judy McGuire move out on the jam. Carol gets by Sandy Dunn. Little Peanuts having a tremendous game, but Judy there to slow her down again. It's hard 2-on-1. So Sandy Dunn takes off, and getting by McGuire is Carol Meyer now, moving on Sandy Dunn. Rosetta Saunders back, did a block for the Bombers, 36. This Carol is giving them fits on this jam. There she goes, got the lead, moving up. They're chasing her, McGuire and Dunn. Carol, Saunders over the top of Carol, into both skaters, and down they go. Carol cut off by Moreland, but goes by. She doesn't, I don't think she got by anybody. Kicked in the back by Debbie Thompson skates, who's up over the rail. I don't know if she got any points in it. She got 1 point. Looked like she might get 3, and then looked like she didn't get any, but she got 1. 34-33, the Bombers lead the Chiefs. 28 seconds to go here in the 7th period of play. There's Carol.
It's hard to believe that she's only been back in action a week after being out all of that time, Walt, with the injury. She really is in great form.
Here we go. They got a skater. Oh, Sandy Dunn throws herself in there, but she ran into McGuire instead. As Saunders, as Tucker and Carol Meyer had McGuire, and now Saunders, man, they've got Sandy Dunn. And Carol Meyer and Judy McGuire going at it. Hammer and Tom holding and hitting. That way you can't get away from your opponent. Finally, a dropkick attempted by McGuire. The skates had missed, and down she went. Oh, man. What a finish for the 7th period, and that is the end of the 7th period of play with the score. The Bay Area Bombers 34 and the Chiefs 33. Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer here at track at Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. The Bombers lead the Chiefs 34-33, and here we go into the 8th and final period of play, and let's see what the coaches have in mind in this period. We'll take the roof off Kezar Pavilion. The Bombers go with 4 skaters. Penalty on that last jam of the girls. Cost them a skater for this period. Penalty time has to be used up. And the leaders on the jam are 2 Chiefs. Larry Lee, 44, Mike Gammon, 45. Del Roscoe in trouble. Puts a blow down the rail. A bundle of points for Gammon and Larry Lee. Could be 6 points. It is 6 points in there for the Chiefs.
Well, I would have to say that is not the jam that Charlie O'Connell had in mind that he was talking about. Because that gives the Chiefs now a big 5-point lead in this last period.
39-34. Connell up in the infield, talking to the skaters as they go by. He'll be in action in a moment. Sets out the first couple jams so he can come in there fresh. His spacing has really paid off for the Chiefs, the Bombers. Don't forget, on the Chief Network, the Bombers are going to be the Chiefs' first opponent back there to open the fall season. Here we go. Dansell has the lead, but Perez and Early moving on him. Here comes Tony Roman for the Bombers. Dansell the challenge. Moving up now on Perez. Roman, double blocks, and they got him. Tony Roman and Bob Dansell moving here for the Bombers on the play. Perez gets up early, and he's belted by somebody in the pack, and down he went again. They're both behind the pack now. They'll have to block back there. John Early, 47. Joe Perez, 43. The only men in scoring position, 34. Dansell of the Bombers and Tony Roman, 37 of the Bombers. Double block set up in there. Roman blocked out of there. Dansell blocked out of there. Perez and Early doing the job out there. Roman fighting in there. He's hit again. Dansell can't get through. They're covering a lot of track out there. Early and Perez. So is Roman and Dansell, but no points have been picked up yet. Time running short on the jam. Roman high on the rail off that block. Moving again. Roman up there to challenge. He's hit in there by Perez. Early hits Dansell. They're both down, and they did the job for the Chiefs. No points scored. Joe Perez, John Early were out on the jam. We're decked in there by Roman and Dansell. Then rejoined the pack and did the blocking job for the Chiefs. No points picked up, but still the Chiefs 39 and the Bombers 34.
People, of course, all over the country want to know, how can these skaters go 10 months a year? And the answer, of course, is the great conditioning. You see it here. It's nearing the end of a long season. Coming up soon, the playoffs out here. Then the teams take a break for about a month. Then the Easter season starts again. Well, it's quite a bit of activity.
Well, these are the greatest skaters in the world today in the bank track. These are the skaters you see in all the major arenas in the United States. The Oakland Coliseum Arena, the San Francisco Cow Palace, the Amphitheater in Chicago, Madison Square Garden, Long Island Arena in Comac, Nassau Arena.
You want to emphasize that, Walt. If you don't see the skaters on this telecast each week, they're not the top flight skaters.
Not even a good facsimile. Here we go. Larry Lee out there, caught between Pete Boyd and Chris Rowe. Rowe to the inside, grabs the lead in the jam. Number 32 for the Bombers. Bill Grohl back there blocking hard on Chris Rowe. Another block by Bill Grohl. Larry Lee hit hard by Pete Boyd, 36 of the Bombers. Mike Gammon helping in there. Chris Rowe is down. Now Larry Lee trying to score. Pete Boyd grabbed and passed in there. Blocking was legal though. Mike Gammon blocking. O'Connell on the track now blocking Larry Lee. Larry Lee, I believe, has 1 point. Over the rail goes Rowe, put there by Bill Grohl. Pete Boyd went back to help out, but too late. 1 point for the Chiefs. They now lead 40-34 over the Bombers. Matter of fact, the skaters you see here are seen by more people, I would imagine, Jerry, than any athlete in any sport in the United States.
Well, they certainly are. 140 station network in the United States, on Armed Forces Network throughout the world. Many of these people are better known than almost any other athletes.
2 weeks ago, we had the letter from Thailand of the youngster that one of the rules so he could become a skater. Dansell out on the jam. Tony Roman out for the Bombers, and it's John Early and Joe Perez moving here for the Chiefs. These four have been battling throughout the entire game. They're at action in the pack, too, action on the jam. That's all over the track. Bill Grohl and O'Connell at the rear of the pack, keeping an eye on each other. Down they go. All four jammers are down. That cost them a lot of valuable space, time, space, dropping farther behind the pack. At the other end, it's Dansell and Perez starting to throw punches. Early moves in on Roman now. These four jammers have been battling it out on the track. Now they're battling with punches on the track and on the infield. Roman clobbering away at John Early. Decks into the helmet. Dansell is decked because fighting up, and Roman takes a swing at Perez, and he goes down. Roman picks up Early and kicks him down. And Dansell kicks Early. There could be penalties all ways, but maybe additional fines to Roman and Dansell. Oh, man. They forgot about their jam. Early and Perez are still down. Bombers are going to go with three skaters in this next jam. Bill Grohl arguing with Bill Morrissey about some call out there. Can't blame him for arguing if it's only equal penalties each way.
Of course, there is the rule that if a skater is defending himself or herself, Gloria Steinem, that a penalty should not be called, but I guess the official figured that both are aggressors.
O'Connell's putting on a jammer. Well, that's natural. The three skaters, you got to go with two jammers and a blocker. It was all excited, but still exciting. O'Connell can jam in this play. He's wearing a jammer's helmet. Three skaters from each team out there. O'Connell jumping through that pack.
This might be the play.
Pete Boyd whipped him out. He's moving now on Mike Gammon. O'Connell and Gammon, the two of the greatest in the bank track out there. O'Connell with the size, decks Mike Gammon. Charlie O moving here for the Bombers, who trail by 6. If he passes the 3 on the track, he get credit for the 2 in the penalty box. Remember that. O'Connell moving. He's got blocking. Pete Boyd and Alvin Mallory slowing the pack down. Bill Grohl back there to protect for the Chiefs. Charlie O'Connell looking for skating room. Eyeing each other out there. A couple of big tigers ready to tear each other apart. And it's a chase with a pull away. The chase with a pull away. Mallory leading Pete Boyd, who's leading Charlie O'Connell. A pull away here by the Chiefs. A double whip coming up to Charlie O'Connell. He's moving behind now. It's Charlie against the 3 of them. Look at him go.
A 3-man jump block.
Everybody standing, applauding O'Connell, showing you why he's the all-time great. He wasn't only going to score, he wanted to take him out of there, and he did, all 3 men with 1 block.
Walt, that's almost a testimonial on how to become the greatest skater in the world. And if you would like information on how to become a roller derby skater and enter a training school, write to Roller Derby Training Centers, Post Office Box 1827, Oakland, California 94604, and we will send you information.
40 to 39, 5 points. Charlie got credit for the 2 in the penalty box. I think he could have got it without that block, but he saw a chance and he took all 3 men out of there. Now here we go again. 40 to 39, 4 minutes to go in the game. Dan Sell chasing the Chief Jammer, and that man is Joe Perez. Each team to 1. Bill Grohl breaking away from the pack. Dan Sell was decked. Bill Grohl moves on him. He'll put him back in the pack now. So the Bombers have no threat out. The only threat is Joe Perez moving here for the Chiefs, 43. Had a sizable lead and was wiped out just like that, except for 1 point. Tony Roman, the jam, has to block back there. He's not out on the jam. The only man in is Joe Perez, 43. Bill Grohl working on Charlie O'Connell at the rear of the pack. He's got O'Connell in trouble. If Perez can get by. O'Connell has been passed for a point. Now Roman blocked out by Bill Grohl. That's 2 points for Perez, who's now blocked out by Jim Cook. Roman out here on the floor. 2 points in there for Perez and the Chiefs, blocking by Bill Grohl. They lead the Bombers 42 to 39. Trekkers, the trainer here, checking with Tony Roman.
The trainer here, Andre Deke, a great soccer player, Walt, member of the official soccer team for Hungary, was on one of the national professional soccer teams in the United States, and just loves roller derby. Still plays soccer, but just in his spare time now.
You got to take up football. They've almost taken over the game.
Football's too dull.
Here we go. Both teams at full strength. And it's Larry Lee for the Chiefs, and Bill Grohl is going out to give him company. The Bombers failed to shake anybody out on this play, and they trail by 3. 2.5 minutes to go in the game. Bill Grohl will jam. He gets a whip from Larry Lee. Bill Grohl moving by himself now. O'Connell drops back to block. He's got to do the job. The Bombers have no offensive threat on this play. The Chiefs have Bill Grohl. O'Connell with the block on Bill Grohl. Pete Boyd keeping an eye on the action back there. Chiefs can't get a blocker back there to help out Bill Grohl. O'Connell directing traffic and putting blocks on Bill Grohl at the same time. Perez on the infield is actually skating the track. Look at Pete Boyd. There'll be a point and a penalty there. Physically, the Chiefs are hurting. That ended the jam. Pete Boyd throwing that 235 pounds around in there. 1 Chief point. They lead 43 to 39. A minute 40 to go in the game. I don't know if Bill Grohl and Mike Gammon can go this jam. Gammon is. Bill Grohl is. He's got just too much guts to get off that track. He'll stay there. He's hurting. Watch it now. This could be the last jam in the game now. 43-39. Coming right down to the wire. Don't forget to have an interview with Charlie O'Connell at the end of this game. Joe Joe Perez is going to jam, but Roman cuts him off and grabs the lead. Tony Roman in front. Joe Perez after at the rear of the pack. Charlie O'Connell and Bill Grove. Keep an eye on the action. It's happening all over the track on this jam. 43-39, the Chiefs lead. Tony Roman has the lead on the jam. Best he can hope for is a tie here because there are only 4 men in the pack. The man's out on the jam. Bombers really got it tough right now to try and pull this one out of the fire. Perez being blocked out by O'Connell. O'Connell hammers into the track. O'Connell moving up now to give Roman some help. Charlie O with a head of steam coming out of the turn. Talking to Tony Roman. Here they go. He hammers Bill Grove to the deck. He moves into that pack. He's hammering blockers out of there. Gammon. There they go. He's got 4. He cuts it off. No points. O'Connell a penalty for slugging. No points. O'Connell draws a penalty for slugging. It's strange he wasn't called earlier. Points before that should have been allowed. I don't know when he called that one, Jerry.
I think he called it right on the first player, and frankly, Walt, I think he was right. O'Connell went in with the forearm smash forward, and you can't do that.
So that is a win here for the Chiefs as a play by Roman to tie it up was nullified. O'Connell illegal blocking as the jam started there, the first point. So no points were allowed. And the final score in this game, don't forget about an interview with Charlie O'Connell in a moment, the final score, the Bay Area Bombers 39 and the Chiefs 43. Well, the Chiefs are the winners here over the Bombers in a tremendous game all the way. Charlie O'Connell, the head man of the Bombers. Charlie, that last play, you do the penalty that, well, do you think it was a good call by the officials or what? Did you get carried away with yourself?
That's about all it was. I got hit in the nose by Bill Grohl, and I probably fractured it, and it got me a little upset, and I decided to cave some heads in. And that's exactly what I did. By doing that, I guess I might have blown the game. If they want to throw the blame on anybody, I'll take the rap.
Charlie, when this game started tonight, and it certainly didn't change all the way through the game, and it's happened before, when your Bombers get against the Chiefs, the titles they've won, the titles the Bombers have won, do you think this creates a tremendous rivalry between the two clubs, that when you get out there, there's a little extra going for you or for them too?
Well, I think that has a lot to do with it, but the main thing, it has Mike Gammon against a Tony Roman, who's considered the 2 fastest men on the track. You got a Perez over there, and you got a Dansell on my side. That's a key factor going there. Grohl's trying to fill my shoes that I used to have in New York, and that's a kingpin there trying to take me. So actually, that's what happens when you put us two together. We're all trying to compete against each other, trying to outdo each other. Unfortunately, we blew this game, but most of the year we've been undefeated as far as losing series, so we have a good shot of cleaning house all over the place.
Well, you say that, and yet again, let's face facts. You're opening against the Chiefs when they open their fall live season. It's not going to be the same club we just saw. It's going to be those skaters, but they have added Bob Woodbury. Now, what kind of a thing that Woodbury added to this club you think is going to be a big factor to them, a big help to them, or what?
Well, let's put it this way. Woodbury's been passed around like a shoehorn. He's gone from team to team, and actually they do need a big guy on that team. Grohl isn't big enough yet. He's still, he's short and husky, and he hits like hell, but he's not the tall man that they need. Now, whether or not Woodbury's going to be the right guy or not, that's another thing. That's between Grohl and Mike. I think it's going to goof him up because Woodbury in the past, 12 years, he never skates a team play game. He skates for himself. He goes crazy, he gets the team penalties, and they all score over him.
But he's got tremendous talent.
Oh, anybody in the roller derby's got talent. I never take away that their ability isn't great. It has to be to stay with the roller derby. And I do give credit to the Chief team. They're strong, but they're awful small, and they need height. And that's the main game now. It's a lot of beef.
Charlie, have you ever regretted leaving the Chief Club?
Oh, no. No. When I had my trouble with the people that ran it back there, and my family wanted me home. So I had to leave it. Even though I gave them their championship there for all that years, now Birdbrain Atkinson's running around. I guess he's with the Pioneer Club now. He gets fired from that team, and they go and hire him over there, so I don't know what's going on. But I don't regret nothing. I still love my home base back here.
Good enough, Charlie. Thanks for talking with me.
Thank you, Walt.
Charlie O'Connell, the Bombers were beaten by the Chiefs here, 43-39. Walt Harris speaking for Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco.